Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the TS-54. It's a Tier 8 American premium heavy tank with twin barrels, and it's located on the southwest spawn of Karelia under the command of Omen Enraged from ENRGE. And he played this game a couple of days ago on his Twitch TV stream. Game on! Okay, well, the first American double-barreled heavy tank. The armament is a 94mm British gun, rather unusually, and it's capable of 280 alpha and penetrating 218mm with standard ammo, which isn't so great, but with the premium rounds it can do 252mm of armor, so a lot of players will be playing mostly premium when they're firing this tank. With the HE rounds, it's capable of 370 alpha and 47mm of pen, so not so likely to be carrying that, but if he is in a tier 8 top tier game, then he might want to swap his some of his premium rounds for HE rounds instead. Now, as I said, it's a double barrel tank, the first of the double barrel tanks, and it was actually presented to the Aberdeen Proving Grounds Committee in 1954 and was considered, but was deemed too ambitious, and the concept was shelved without a prototype being built. Now, as I say, it's capable of 280 alpha, which means with a double shot it should be capable of doing 560 with one double barrel shot, but then it does have a rather long reload. The reload time, 7.19 per barrel, and you've got a 2-second lockout time as well. It says 5 seconds there on the screen. That's the amount that the minimum amount for reloading just one barrel, and a 2.5 second switch. Oh, enemy BZ. Well, he fired both rounds and both penetrated, but he got a low roll, and he's taken a hit with the ammo rack by a T29. He's got one round back in. He only loaded a single there. Okay, so he's taken a bit of a hit, but he put a big hit into that BZ-58 by getting both rounds in. And this tank does have 8 degrees of gun depression as well, which makes it quite good at working ridge lines. In fact, the armor is so well presented. This is a rather OP tank. Oh, he's done it again. The T29 took it this time. Both rounds. He did get a low roll again, but he's doing massive damage to these tanks, and they can't penetrate because the angle of the armor works that even though the upper plate of this tank is actually less thick than the lower plate, the angle is so acute that it's actually more difficult when this thing is angled to actually get through, and so even tier 8s would have difficulty getting through this armor. Well, he's firing single shots at the moment, trying to keep pace. This tank does have an incredible DPM, very, very OP, and again the T29's taking a hit. And he's finally got him. He's got his first kill. The T29 goes down. Okay, we're backing off for a moment. Oh, we just lost our Tiger. I think he's going to reload 2 shells so he can do more damage. Now, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people think that Wargaming put the TS-54 into the game and made it so OP that people would want to pay for what plus. He's going for a double shot, and he gets it. 546, and you look at that, he gets the assist as well. Did he get the assist? No, he didn't get the assist, but he did get 546 hit points of damage on that Scorpion. Super Hellcat, rather, not Scorpion. Now, I actually watched this game being played as I was doing videos. I do have 2 computers running, one which actually has Twitch TV on it, whilst I'm working the other one on producing the videos. So I get to see a lot of streaming games, and this one really was a nail-biter, and you'll see why. He's already managed to generate 2,605 hit points of actual damage. He hasn't got much in the way of assist. In fact, he's got none assist so far. But this thing is very good at getting assists, because if you can put the rounds in the right place, then your teammates are going to follow up behind you, and then you get assists for tracking the enemy. You can see that we're 2 tanks up on the enemy. There's a couple of enemy tanks up ahead, a Borsig and a Standard B. And it looks like they've also got a Scorpion near their base. Okay, we've seen a couple of enemy tanks into sight. They're firing at us, and the T-34 gets another ammo rack, but we fix it straight away. That's one of the things this thing is prone to, ammo racks, I'm afraid. I've seen a lot of players playing the TS-54 getting ammo racks. We don't have a module map at the moment, so I couldn't tell you where they are, but certainly I have seen a lot of them. Okay, he's getting ready a double shot. It's only 2 seconds to get a double shot ready, unlike the other double barrel tanks, such as the Soviet ones. It takes them 3 seconds to get a double barrel ready. In this one, it's only 2 seconds, and that makes a big difference, because you can get those rounds out super quick. You can also change which barrel actually is firing at any one time. You can see at the moment it's the right barrel that's been selected, but you can change that using the intuition so that it actually loads the correct barrel so you can side scrape. And you can side scrape in this tank, unlike some of the other ones. Okay, he's got a rear shot, the Borsig. Oh, takes him out! Used both rounds, but he annihilated that Borsig by firing into his rear. So 2 kills now for Omen Enraged. Nicely does it. One of the things I was impressed of in this game was his tactical thinking as well. The way he was looking at this to try and see how he could get around the enemy without making himself vulnerable to enemy fire. He is basically now one shot, and he's very cautious of that because that P-43 turret, and he pumps 2 rounds into the guy and takes out the P-43 turret. So he's now 3 kills, and he's reloaded 1 chamber, going for the second one. Okay, they're both up. It doesn't quite have the alpha of the 703-2, which obviously has got 122mm guns, whereas this only has 94mm guns. But what it actually gets back in terms of DPM is the reload speed, which is so much quicker, and that means you can get a huge amount of damage on the enemy. Okay, stop for the moment, because he's the nearest one to the enemy tanks. He's waiting for his teammates to catch up a little. Obviously, he wants them to be the target, not him, because he is a one-shot. He's only got 297 hit points left, and he doesn't want to get taken out easily. Okay, he's just baiting them at the moment, popping up, taking 1 quick shot, which, of course, he was spotted. He can afford to do that. This thing does have adequate ammo capacity. And now he's letting the list go ahead because, of course, he's now going to draw the fire. And he is drawing the fire from the T-34-3, which means he's now unloaded. Can we get a shot? No. So he's fallen back. Couldn't get that shot on the T-34-3. He's the biggest threat at the moment, I think. Oh, the list managed to get a shot to that Standard B on the enemy team. Can we get a... No, we can't get a shot on him yet. So that T-34-3 is causing most of the problems. Again, he's asking for help with the T-34-3. That's the right thing to do. Now, that's good news. The Standard B's gone down to the T-34... T-34, the list. Now, can we get a shot on this T-34-3? He keeps backing up. Yes, he does! Now, that is a very dangerous opponent out, and he's now got 4 kills. We're only 1 up on the enemy at the moment, and it's a fight for the enemy cap area. Now, the enemy does have a Skoda, or is it Skoda? No, it's a 56 TP, the Polish tank, up on the horseshoe. And unfortunately, he just killed our batch at 25 TAP. Still 4 left on the enemy team. They've got an AMX M451, the 56 TP that I mentioned, a Charioteer, and a Scorpion G. Now, he's got to work out how he's going to get them, because he knows there's two up near the cap. He can see the M451. He thinks there's a Challenger up here as well. And he's got to try and draw them in, so he's actually hulled down and can take shots. Now, he's worked out that the Charioteer was behind that bush. He was hiding behind that bush. If he'd let the Charioteer, if he'd just driven straight up, the Charioteer would have finished him off, or at least tried to. But he's not given the guy a chance. Our Charioteer is actually in a position where he can help now. Okay, he's got the gun depression here. Can work this corner. Charioteer just took a big hit. I think that was from the enemy Charioteer. Okay, now we've got the advantage on him because he's reloading. We're moving up. Again, gun depression in our favor. There he is. Can you get the shots? Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There we got it. Yes! Charioteer couldn't get the shot back because the angle of the armor. And he managed to take down the Charioteer. And now he's got the AMX M451 to deal with. So he's side-scraping this corner. Using his armor, he blocks the shot with his gun. Only one of them. But that means he's still got the other gun. And both shots. Yes! Lower plater, the AMX M451. And that's a top gun. So there's only two enemies left. There's only two left on his team as well. All he's got left is the Charioteer on his team. The others have all been wiped out. And the enemy... Oh, we just lost our teammate. The enemy, our teammate Charioteer got wiped out by the Scorpion G, so he must be fairly close. We can't see him at the moment. We know that 56 TP is coming up by the other side of the cap area. We must assume that the Scorpion G has moved down from the horseshoe and is coming up to try and get behind us. Okay, so we're using our gun depression to move up, see if we can find the enemy. And the enemy is to our left. 56 TP, fires both rounds, didn't connect. Okay, so we know he's got that long reload, and the enemy knows that as well, but he's backing down using the gun depression. He's got to get around this corner without getting hit. Okay, he fires one round to try and hold back that enemy from an advance. Checking to make sure the Scorpion doesn't come up behind him, using all of his vision. Okay, there's the 56 TP. Now he's gonna use his gun depression in this position. He can get a shot on, goes for the lower plate. He takes around in the tracks, and the Scorpion is trying to get behind him. So he's now going to put his rear on around this rock so he can have a go at the 56. Yes! He took out the 56 TP with a couldn't get his gun down on us, and he placed the shots into the lower plate, and now the Scorpion's coming up behind us. So now he wants to reverse that and put himself in a position so he can use gun depression against the Scorpion once he gets up onto this height. Double shot again, pumps those rounds in, gets both connected. It's a low roll again, but only by 2 hit points. The Scorpion is now one shot, and he's trying to get behind us. He went over the top of that rise, and now we're going to be able to shoot down on him with both rounds. Here we go for the game. Yeah! Double shot, gets a Radley Walters, and wins the game by Omen Enraged. Well, that was an ace tanker game for Omen Enraged in the TS-54. You can imagine how he felt at the time when he got this game, and it really was one of those nail biters right to the very end. That Scorpion could have taken him out at any moment with one clean shot, but Omen Enraged kept his cool, kept playing, used his tank to his advantage, and planted 2 rounds into the Scorpion's engine bay to finish him off and win the game. He got a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, Duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He managed to get 10. He got a Radley Walters medal. He killed 8 enemy tanks, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills, and on top of all that, he got a Steel Wall for blocking the most damage in the game. His win rate in that game, 13,818. It was a magnificent game. He used his tank to his advantage, both his angling, and also the way that he was using his gun depression, his 8 degrees of gun depression, to keep his gun on the enemy, even when the enemy couldn't keep his gun on him. And it really did work in this game. Let's have a look at team scores. Well, the highest damage in the game was 5,547 hit points to Omen Enraged. Second highest was the Charioteer on the enemy team, 4,187. And the third highest was the Scorpion, the last enemy alive. He got 3,308. So he was a good player, and Omen Enraged managed to overmatch him. When it came to kills, yep, he's got that one too. 8 kills to Omen Enraged, 4 kills to the Charioteer and to the Scorpion G on the enemy team, and 3 kills to that AMX M451, the one he finished off with the double barrel to the lower plate. When it came to base XP, yep, he got that one too. And in fact, look at that. That is a very, very high base XP. 1,968, only a fraction away, 32 XP away from getting a 2,000 XP game, which is almost unheard of. You don't hear very many players getting that high a base XP score. The next highest scorer only had 842. That's less than half the amount he managed to get in this game. So it's a really, really stupendously good game. When it came to third place, it's the Scorpion G on his own team with 836. So really, he did carry his team on this one, very much so. And at the end, I think if anybody was watching, like I was at the time, they were almost cheering along for him to win this one. Let's have a look at detail. 35 shots fired, 31 direct hits and 25 penetrations. He didn't waste much ammo, and he did get a lot of double barrel shots in. 5,547 hit points of damage, of which 301 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see most of the damage was done at close range. He received 14 hits from the enemy, but only 4 of those actually penetrated, 10 non-penetrations. And I think that he did block 3,090 hit points of damage by his armor. He spotted 5 enemy vehicles, damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 8. The 391 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 120,813 credits, and that's despite the fact that he did use premium ammo and he had consumables to repair as well. What else can I tell you? Well, the XP, 3,247, so it's a very high XP score as well. What can I say about the TS-54 I didn't mention before? Well, this is an unusual tank in that you can put the crews from any vehicle, any American vehicle, into it. That's the unusual thing about this tank, is that you can put the crew of an Arty or even a light tank into a heavy tank, and they will still operate with full capability. So it's not as if it's one of those multiple training tanks. Doesn't matter which crew you're using, you can beef up their skills simply by putting them into your TS-54. It does have a low shell velocity, which isn't so great, which means shooting at long range is not that great. You'll have to lead the target to get the shots in, and it doesn't have fantastic penetration, which kind of encourages you to fire premium rounds. But that ability to fire such a fast rate, I mean, it is, even though we've got that 2-second lockout and a 5-second reload and 7-second reload for each gun barrel when you're actually doing the double barrel shot, you can still get those hits in, and they can really tear an enemy apart. The DPM is very, very high indeed. In the book, it's 2,336.32, which is actually higher than the 7032 and the Renegade and other tanks. So it really is one of those tanks which is very, very OP indeed. But congratulations to Omen Enraged, getting an ace and a Radleys in that game on Twitch TV. And if you haven't already, give him a follow, because he does play quite regularly on Twitch TV. He's on right now, actually. I can see him on the other computer. And he's actually very, very good. He does have occasionally a bad game, just like everyone else does. But when you see games like this, you think, yeah, that's fantastic. And if you want to watch him in videos, I'd say watch any game by Sly Meerkat that's on our YouTube channel. And you will obviously probably spot him in the background playing his platooning with the Sly Meerkat. And sometimes Omen Enraged does come out better than Sly Meerkat does, but Sly Meerkat gets the results anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that 9,000th video for our channel. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.